When you hear Mongol Empire, what do you think of? Bloodthirsty raiders on horseback? Savage destroyers of cities? Barbarians who tore through civilization? That's the version you've been taught. But what if I told you it's only half the story? Because while Genghis Khan and his armies did burn and pillage, they also reshaped Eurasia more than any empire before them. And the effects? Some of them are still playing out today. In this video, we're unpacking 5 truths about the Mongol Empire that you weren't taught in school. And by the end, you'll see why this so-called barbarian horde might have built the foundations for the modern world, while setting fire to everything in its way. 1. Genghis Khan didn't just conquer. He rewired civilization. Genghis Khan didn't invent empire, but he reinvented how one could function. He destroyed feudal loyalties, rewrote tribal identities, and built a brutal but merit-based system. Promotion wasn't about bloodlines. It was about loyalty and skill. He created the world's first passport system, military census, an international postal network, the YAM. His rules stretched from Korea to Eastern Europe, connected not by ethnicity, but by order, fear, and trade. This wasn't just conquest, it was reprogramming. So why do we call him a savage, but not the kings who enslaved millions for sugar? Because Genghis didn't write the textbooks. His enemies did. 2. The Mongols wiped out cities and then opened borders. Yes, they were violent. Unspeakably so. The Mongols destroyed cities like Nishapur and Baghdad. Millions died. But then something strange happened. They opened the Silk Road. Trade exploded. A merchant could travel from China to Persia under a single law, with a single currency system and guaranteed protection. The Pax Mongolica wasn't peace out of kindness. It was order out of terror. And it worked. Goods, technology, and disease spread like never before. The Black Death? It likely traveled along Mongol trade routes from Asia to Europe and killed up to 50% of the population. That's not just empire. That's unintended biological warfare. 3. The Mongols empowered women more than Europe did. While medieval Europe treated women like property, the Mongol world was shockingly progressive. Genghis Khan's daughters governed regions. His mother and wives advised on military campaigns. Widows held land. And women could even divorce to 700 years before Europe allowed it. Mongol queens and empresses ruled in their own right across Persia, China, and Central Asia. Compare that to Europe, where women were burned as witches, married off at 12, and forbidden from owning land. So remind me, who were the barbarians? 4. The Mongol Empire united Islam, China, and the West. The Mongols weren't Christian. They weren't Muslim. They weren't Buddhist. They were strategic. They adopted the best parts of every system and imposed none of them. They hired Chinese engineers, Persian administrators, Russian scouts, and European scribes. Paper money, advanced siege weapons, even printing tech, all flowed across cultures because the Mongols forced contact. The Renaissance? Some argue it wouldn't have happened without Mongol-facilitated transmission of knowledge. The Mongols were a brutal bridge, connecting worlds that never wanted to meet. And when they collapsed, that bridge burned, and the world retreated back into walls. 5. The Mongols didn't vanish. They were absorbed. Most people think the Mongol Empire disappeared. It didn't. It fragmented, and its DNA seeped into everything that followed. The Ming Dynasty in China, born from a rebellion against the Mongols, but adopted their systems. The Ottoman Empire inherited Mongol cavalry tactics and administrative reforms. Even Russia's centralized power under the Tsars was modeled after Mongol rule, not European monarchy. So no, they didn't vanish. They mutated, spread, and still influence the architecture of global power today. We didn't destroy the Mongols. We became them. We love to divide history into good guys and bad guys. Civilization versus savagery. East versus West. Heroes versus hordes. But the Mongol Empire doesn't fit that story. It was brutal, yes, genocidal, even. But it was also efficient, progressive, and foundational. It didn't just conquer land. It rewired Eurasia, economically, politically, genetically. And here's the thing no one wants to say. Sometimes the most lasting empires aren't the ones that build. They're the ones that burn and make the world rise from ash. Like, comment, and subscribe for more.